Hey everybody, welcome back to another midweek episode. It is so good to be with you again after spending the last couple of weeks on family vacation. We just got back from an 11-day trip where we went through 10 different states, and I did the math. We drove almost 3,000 miles and we spent 53 hours in this vehicle. So we are so happy to be back home. Here's the thing about our trip. Those almost 3,000 miles, I drove every single one of them. That's how it works in our family. I'm the one who's the driver. My wife is the one who manages the kids and makes sure that we all stay entertained in the vehicle. And yeah, I don't know how it is for you. Maybe you're the driver, or maybe you're the passenger, or maybe you split those responsibilities. But as I spent all of this time driving, I started thinking about how that applies to life and especially to leadership. We talk about leaders as those who are drivers, right? I mean, they're always trying to move things forward. And you even look in the Bible and think about Moses as the one who's leading God's people on the road trip through the wilderness. And it's not just 3,000 miles and 11 days, but this is like 40 years of trying to move them in a particular direction. So I wanted to share with you today 3 different leadership insights that I gleaned from the time that I spent driving in the last couple of weeks. So here's the first one. Someone has to make decisions. As we spent all of this time driving, I had to be the one in the end that determined where we were going, how we were going to get there, how fast we were going to drive in order to get there. And yet I didn't make those decisions on my own. I was always consulting with my wife in the passenger seat. I was always trying to pay attention to the people around me. And that's what leadership looks like. In the end, you have to make a decision, but you're also trying to take the input from others around you. Here's the second leadership insight. Sometimes you miss out. The trip that we took was down to the Great Smoky Mountains. If you haven't been there, I highly recommend it. It is gorgeous, breathtakingly beautiful. And so as we're winding through the mountains, there are some gorgeous views, and my family is pointing that out to me, and yet there are times where I missed it because my eyes were on the road. That was my number one responsibility. And so periodically what I needed to do was pull over to the side and get out of the vehicle so I could take it all in. And this is what leadership looks like. Like sometimes you're trying to move things forward, and so you miss some of the things that are going on around you because you are looking ahead. But in leadership, not only do you need to look ahead, but you need to look at what's going on around you. And in order to do that, sometimes you need to stop and you need to rest and you need to take it all in. I remember when I started as a pastor here at St. John's, I was so focused on the future that one of my staff said, you need to stop and just celebrate where we're at, how far we've gone. And so I've learned to do a better job with that. And then finally, leadership lesson number 3 is that sometimes it's stressful. Certainly for me on our trip, there were times where I got stressed out. I got stressed out in the decision making. I got stressed out in some of the chaos that was going on in the vehicle around me. I got stressed out because there were times where the car was making weird noises and we ended up having to replace a couple of tires on the trip. I got stressed out when there were times where there were near accidents that happened to be averted. And this is what leadership is. This is what life is. Sometimes you get stressed out, and yet you adjust and you still move forward. So I don't know, maybe you've got a trip planned yet this summer. You're going to spend some time in the car. And maybe you're going to be the driver, or maybe you're going to be the passenger, or maybe you're going to split those responsibilities. But as you do that, I hope that you are able to spend some time like I did, being able to reflect upon how God is calling you to be a leader. So thanks for joining me today. I'll see you again next time.